And now, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda commences tonight's satsang with the Sanskrit peace chant.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We begin with a mystic song by Sri Swami Lalitananda, played and sung by Sri Swami Umananda and Rajneesh.
Our song tonight is called O Holy Mother Ganges. I remember the first time I saw you shining in the early morning sun, with your sparkling waters flowing on, reflecting the clouds in the sky. Touch with you, dust in the Himalayan breeze, while the peacocks call to spring. Carry me in your arms to the sea of eternity. Holy Mother Ganges, may I be free forever. Oh, sweet river Ganges, just as you uproot unbending trees in your swift current, take my pride and go away, away. May I be like the bamboo trees, fanning in adoration and love. Carry me in your arms to the sea of eternity. Oh, Holy Mother Ganges, may I be free forever. For centuries the sannyasis with folded hands pray in the moonlight on the silvery sands, while your cool water swirled and surged over rocks, giving the hope and joy unknown. Carry me in your arms to the sea of eternity. We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Today is October the 25th, 2020, Sunday evening, and tonight Swamiji will be lecturing on the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is series 2018, class number 95. And now Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 9, Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yoga, the yoga of royal knowledge and royal secret. Royal doesn't have anything to do with political royalty. It's allegorical. You found the royal path, the road leading to the palace. You can go very easily. You don't have to ask people where is the palace. And you can go softly, jumping, dancing. You are well protected on the royal path. And what is the royal path? Integral yoga practiced in your daily life. Yoga that does not turn to a limited aspect, because yoga has 4 aspects: action, karma yoga, emotion, feeling, bhakti yoga, will aspect of your personality, dhyana yoga, and understanding aspect. Your intellect becomes intuitional. That movement is jnana yoga. If you focus only on one of these 4, you are following a restricted path. These 4 are like 4 musical chords, and they must be in harmony. Harmonizing the 4 chords of your personality in the hands of Goddess Saraswati. Goddess Saraswati means the absolute Brahman. Because the moment you begin to harmonize, or to the extent you do, you become free from the load of ego-based illusions. Your worries about what you have done, what you are going to gain, lots of worries which create a load. That load is lightened if there is harmony. If you are singing in a melodious way, all the load about details of what you are doing, they begin to diminish. Try it out. So that's the role of integral yoga. That's Raj Yoga, Raj Guhya Yoga in this context. 26th verse. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyuparhitam ashnami prayatatmana. Whoever offers even a leaf or a flower or a fruit or just water with devotion to me, I accept that offering of love from my pure-hearted devotee. It's a very profound statement. First, you are given allegorically. Consider spiritual attainment. The whole sadhana movement that gives you the highest fruit or highest result. That spiritual tree has a leaf, it has flower, it has fruit, and the greatest aspect of that product of the tree is the rasam of the fruit. Looks like just water, the sap. Leaf relates to karma yoga. And karma yoga is highlighted by seva. Serve, love, be good, do good. If this enters in your personality, you become karma yogi automatically, whether you like it or not. And things that were such a load in your job, it becomes a leaf. That's one subtle meaning. First, you must understand these offerings, even in ritual state, they are awakening your faith. So in any stage you do, it has its own special benefit. But do not stay confined only in that ritual level. Your ritual level, well done, should give you advanced progress. Your kindergarten study must give you higher grade attainment. Scriptures have given lots of details about these offerings. And let me give you some of those. Those are highly allegorical. But they enter your mind and they stay stuck with your mind. When you hear certain things with stories, parables, details of intellectual data move away from your mind. But you hold on to the stories. And the stories bring to you those details you have heard and subtle meaning behind the details. So there's all this has to be understood. The subtle super psychology behind the scriptural teachings. Now the storyline, Krishna was invited by Duryodhana. And Duryodhana had prepared wonderful royal dishes to welcome Krishna. But Vidura led him, he chose to go to Vidura. And his capacity was not with so much of the delicious foods, the royalty foods. His was ordinary food, spinach, chana, garbanzo, things of that nature. Duryodhan came, ki meva tyago, saag vidur ghar khaye. Duryodhana's delicious articles of food, royal food, Krishna didn't accept it. And he accepted saag, like leafy preparation in the home of Vidura. And so that's a leaf example, a scriptural example. And flower is well known. All devotees, they bring flowers, and flower is the highlight of any temple. Whenever there is divine darshan, God shower flowers. The flower is well known. Fruit was offered by Shabari. Bare fruits, plum fruits. And in order that Rama receives the most delicious, she tasted every fruit, put a tooth mark into it, and then kept it in her bag and threw away all others that didn't taste well. Every day she went on doing that for years, until Rama did come. And when he tasted the fruit, it reminded him of his mother, Kaushalya. So all this is allegorical stories. Offering a flower in advanced stage, implying developing virtuous qualities. If you have developed humility and offer it, don't say, I'm so humble. You don't listen to me, I will grumble. Then you are not offering it. So, developing virtuous qualities in a spontaneous way because of love of God. And just water is in this context refers to the highest product of the tree. To get all the nutrition from the fruit, you get the juice of the fruit. The fruit juice is ultimately the highest product. In the spiritual way of understanding, when your sadhana has led you to the state of deep ecstasy or deep samadhi, you are enjoying the juice and offering it to God. Lord Shiva, Shivalinga is worshipped by Abhishek. Drops and drops of water drips upon the Shivalinga. That's the allegorical presentation of what I am explaining, the state of deep samadhi where your soul is offering the mind as water, but mind that goes on flowing without interruption. Dhara pravaha. So these are the offerings: leaf, flower, fruit, or just water. The storyline in the field of parables, offering of water and its glory has been presented in the scriptures. Saint Eknath went through a whole project of bringing Ganges water and offering the water to Lord Shiva in Rameshwaram. It's years of journey and trouble. He, along with a band of Brahmins, completed the whole trip, and they had come very close to Rameshwaram temple where Shiva is installed. And there it so happened that the saint saw a dog, thirsty dog, dying. They call it some person donkey, doesn't matter. And he gave the water to that dying animal, thirsty animal. And the animal was revived. And then he continued and came to the temple with the rest of the water. This first stage of offering was given to the dog or donkey. And now he is coming with a second rate offering to Lord Shiva. It's a big insult. That's how the people saw him doing something so negative, and they couldn't understand. But to their big surprise, the moment he enters the temple, people say, "What happened? You were already here. You offered, and there was such a light flashed out. You great sage." Because that offering to that thirsty animal reached God, Lord Shiva, directly. Figure out what all that implies. You don't have to do all the whole plot, but in everyday life, a little help you give to a person at the right time with a sincere heart, it reaches as if you have offered it to God Himself. And this form of offering, leaf, flower, fruit, or just the water, reduces your egoism and enhances Ishwararpan. One side is ego-based, life. On the other side, a life surrendered to God. On one side, your project is to understand, I am nothing, not even a straw. I am not the body, not the mind, not the intellect. I am nothing. From ego point of view. From another side, all this in me, they are expressions of God's presence or God's role. In brief, from individual personality point of view, I am just an instrument. So making yourself instrumental, not egoistic, that's one project. And understanding whose instrument are you, in whose hands? God. So put two things together. God is operating through your personality and you are just an instrument in His hands. And that's what Sharanagati means, surrender to God. Two-aspected understanding. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yadjuhoshi dadasi tayat yat tapasyasi kaunteya tatkurushva madarpanam. O son of Kunti, whatever actions you perform, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as an oblation, whatever you give, and whatever austerity you practice, dedicate them all as an offering to me. This is a very profound statement, to turn your entire personality and your life into a stream of aradhana, into a stream of worship. Your life itself is the best offering, but it requires profound maturity in your mind to understand what religion means and what it means to practice religion, practice dharma. Yajna, dana, tapa. These are best ingredients of spiritual life. Yajna, in ritualistic way, yajna is pouring oblations into fire with different mantras to invoke different gods and receive blessings, and many other details of yajna. Spiritual way, yajna is allowing negative qualities in you to be sacrificed and turn into positive. Anger is sacrificed into the fire of love. That's yajna. It brings transformation. So of many yajnas, jnana yajna is one of the best. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do other yajnas. Jnana yajna is like the blossoming state of yajna movement. Jnana yajna means promoting spiritual wisdom. People who lack spiritual understanding, enhancing the process of understanding, allowing people to develop sanamati by creating satsanga atmosphere, sharing your knowledge. The more you share, the more you are benefited by your knowledge. If spiritual knowledge is kept in your mind only as a PhD you have done in a particular subject, I'm joking, intellectually, then it is of very little benefit. So whatever action you perform, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as an oblation, put it in a very simple way to understand. Whatever you do, if you are facing a problem, if you are suffering from a malady and you are going after medicine to treat it, all this is deeply related to your spiritual progress. All this is stream of worship of God flows on when you are when everything you live by is touched by spiritual value. Everything is viewed spiritual. You wash your teeth. Whose teeth you are washing? Ganesha's. I'm joking. Whom you are attending to? Your whole body is Shivalaya, is the divine residence. Devo Devalayo Prokto. The whole body is a temple. So, you may not suddenly go into that height, but gradual movement towards that height. And so you are converting day-to-day life, not from living a boring life, to a life that has a purpose. And being aware of purposeful life, even that awareness is in early stage, just few steps. That has profound blessings for you. That's what people say. You take few steps towards God, and God takes 1,000 steps towards you. So that movement is yajna movement. Another mantra to be adopted is dana. Dana means charity. Develop a magnanimous heart, a charitable heart. Don't be charitable towards yourself. People have no difficulty being charitable. You view yourself most wonderful. I'm not talking about everybody. That's the mass mentality. And the defects of others outshine before your eyes. But it shouldn't be so. Here I'm defining charity in a profound way. Ordinarily, charity means how much money you give. But more intimate charity that touches your heart, bring transformation in your personality, is profound change to occur in your bhavana, in your feeling. And deep in your heart, there must develop that type of awareness, as if you have enshrined God within your heart. And all that you are encountering in your life is in tune with God's presence within your heart. In other words, you don't see anything negative in this world. You try to understand this point. It doesn't mean, therefore, that you are suffering from certain malady and you don't see anything negative about it. You have a sharp headache, and having read a few of these words, you have seen nothing about it. There are so many head suffering. Mind is only a coconut. So this is not real worship of God. Your head is not yours. So the head is to be a channel of God's will. So with that understanding, treat your head, treat your headache, treat your whole body, put it through exercise, and similarly your entire different aspects of your personality, give them proper exercises. So magnanimous attitude towards yourself and towards the world. That's the act of charity. And next is tapa. Tapa is austerity. As you spiritually begin to advance, your spiritual longing becomes stronger. And nature does not match up with your expectation. Therefore, you need to wait and watch. And when you wait, while waiting, you have to learn how to endure, how to be patient. And that whole process called tapas, austerity. So three things are very important mantras, as it were: yajna, dana, and tapa. And these are the ingredients that lead to Ishwararpana buddhi, surrender to God. Surrendering to God constant remembrance of God, offering to God, all these are synonymous. शुभाशुभफलैरेवं मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः संन्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि. Thus you will become free from the bondage of good and evil karmas. And being steadily united with the yoga of renunciation, you will become liberated in this very life and attain me. Two terms are used here, sannyasa and yoga. Sannyasa is renouncing your ego. Yoga is uniting yourself with God. So practice of sannyasa means allowing those types of affirmations to enter your mind that negates your ego, erroneous concept of ego. That's the whole process is progressive. Not to be happy with egoistic ego. And that whole movement is sannyasa. Whether you are initiated in sannyasa or not. This is the project of sannyasa. How to handle your ego. Egoism, swollen ego, that's not you. The swollen ego relates itself to three planes: physical, practical reality, sentimental reality of your heart, and your understanding. The three lokas, they have been drawn to your egoism. But these three lokas continue to change as your egoism gets sublimated to humility. Therefore, in the scriptures, whenever you see any divine project is winning, suddenly the drama shows lokas, all of them are vibrating, shaking up. But I'm just giving you a color about it. But the basic point, that all the three planes in your personality begin to change. To what extent? That's in the divine hands. That attention that is in divine hands, how that should all change. That's yoga movement, placing it in the hands of God. From your side, from egoistic side, renouncing your ego. Separating karma from yourself is sannyasa. Separating karma. How do you separate it? By developing that insight, I am not the doer. And I am not the enjoyer. And uniting karma with God. Then who is doing through you? Who is enjoying through you? God. If you are practicing this, you are practicing sannyasa yoga. Sannyasa plus yoga. And the goal of every individual is to attain moksha. Karma bandhan, bonded with karma. Bhava chakra, more extended understanding. Mala, vikshepa and avarana. If soul is trapped by these three knots of the heart, gross impurities, vasana level envenomed with kleshas, afflictions, and the sole source of all the kleshas is avidya, ignorance. So ignorance, mental distraction, and impurities, gross impurities of the mind. Mala, vikshepa, avarana. As long as you are trapped by these three, you continue to experience the repeated cycle of birth and death. And that's called karma bandhan. From karma bandhan, attain moksha, liberation. In order to do that, all the three aspects are led to a process of transformation. Karma becomes karma yoga for removing your mala, gross impurities. The more karma yoga, which I have already explained, when you begin to view all your actions as relating to God, then you do not let anger, hate stay in your personality. Malas begin to dwindle. Likewise, your vasanas, subtle impressions, they undergo great changes. And ultimately, avarana, the veil of ignorance, is removed by enlightened vision. I am not this. The real I am is nothing but God Himself. Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me ish dveshyo dveshyosti na priya ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayi te teshu chapyaham. I am equally present in all beings. To me, none is hateful. None is dear. But those who worship me with devotion, I am in them and they are in me. Now, subtle point. God is not a distant personality that you have to be drawn to Him by His love. God is your essential nature. Therefore, first to understand that your self-effort is important for attaining liberation. To give it easy understanding, all souls are like reflected suns. But reflected suns in different jars of water, they are in different conditions. That jar of water where water has become clear, there the reflected sun is as if looking at the sun, and the sun is as if looking at the reflected sun. They have fallen in love. Reason in love. So that type of relation God has with souls. There is no favoritism. God is impartial. And in spite of his impartiality, he falls in love with such intensity, illustrated by Krishna and Sudama. That point has to be assimilated by you. God is equally present. No one is hateful. Never should you hold the idea that I have committed so many mistakes. How can God forgive me? He must hate me. Because can hold secrets from others, but can hold secret from him. No, don't think that way. God is equally present in your heart, as he was present in the heart of Jesus, Buddha, all great sages and saints. He is equally present in every individual. The sun is equally present in all pots of water. But it is for you, for every soul, to develop that spiritual awakening by purushartha. Purushartha, self-effort, which harmonizes the four aspects in your daily life. Integral yoga, practice of integral yoga. Those who worship me with devotion. Worship me with devotion means practicing integral yoga. Karma, bhakti, dhyana, jnana. Devotion is a highlighted aspect of these 4 points, because things become secure when your heart agrees. When your heart doesn't agree, things are painful and stressful. So when your sadhana brings a flavor of devotion to God, when bhakti is being highlighted, when you begin to love your prayer, your acts of surrendering to God, vinati, different types of stotras that you recite, or all these are so many ways of trying to explain to you the role of devotion. So when devotion begins to advance, devotion is the quality of your heart. And real devotion is love of God that automatically draws your soul towards himself, as it were. Those who worship me with devotion, I am in them. In the beginning, devotion gives an idea in your mind that God is so distant from you. Go on looking for this pilgrimage, that pilgrimage, wait for that festivity or that vrata. As you advance further, God is closer than your own heart is for you. God is your inner essence. And your own personality is the best of all tirthas and all temples. Quickly I have said it, but it's something to be kept as an ideal in your life. And with this I'm going to conclude. Om Ram 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 Om Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Om Shri Krishnaya Namah Om Shri Krishnaya Namah Om. And prayer for Karunamaya Rasa grace of God over all of you with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. When these three blessings blend together, your life becomes a stream of adoration to God. That's the real meaning of worship, not worship. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhana Urvarukma Bandhana Mrityor Mukshyamamritat Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Are there any questions? And we welcome